blended pink drink from Starbucks. 10 out of 10 recommend. Hi, my name is Sophia. This is my first video, if you can't tell by this mediocre setup. But as you can see by the title, I'm going to be talking about AP Art and this year's portfolio submission, how I got a 5, which I really don't know how I did, but I'm going to try and explain to the best of my abilities how I did, what worked for me, what didn't, and all that jazz. So this video is for people who are either taking AP Art, have already taken AP Art, need tips and advice, or people who are thinking about taking it, don't really know what the course is about. I'm going to break down everything for you and get you ready for taking AP Art, because honestly it's so much fun and I loved taking it. AP Art is basically a course in which you guessed it, make art. This year they changed the portfolio submission, the exam. There's no real test, it's just your pieces, but they changed the submission this year. So it used to be 24 pieces, 12 were your breadth, I think is what it was called, and 12 were for your concentration. But this year they changed it to 15 pieces, which were for your concentration. But since the pandemic hit, they changed it to 10, which I was very glad that they did. Anyways, there are 3 different portfolios that you can submit. There's 2D, 3D, and drawing. I think that's the 3. There could be more, I don't really know, but I think those are the 3. I did drawing. I submitted a drawing portfolio, which I'll get into. Basically, what you have to do for AP Art is, the first thing you really want to do is figure out your concentration. Figure out your idea. And if you don't know what concentration is, a concentration is basically your set idea, your theme, your kind of guided question. My concentration was about the 7 deadly sins, specifically how the 7 deadly sins are prevalent in society, how they are perceived by other people, yada yada yada, stuff like that. I'm going to read a little excerpt from my written evidence, I think it was called. It explains my concentration to the AP grader, I think before they see all the pieces. So this is what I wrote. Growing up, I've had many changes in my personal beliefs, specifically my religion. My sustained investigation personifies aspects of religious conflict through a topic I've always been interested in, the 7 deadly sins. The 7 deadly sins are such an interesting concept, not only because of its religious origins, but the way that they are relevant in our everyday lives. The idea behind my pieces was to personify the 7 deadly sins through self-reflection, as every piece of my concentration is a self-portrait. This was to visualize the way religious hatred is used to oppress and shame people from my point of view. Each of the portraits is meant to be off-putting. My goal was to invoke hurtful emotions of criticism that viewers might experience from hyper-religious groups. For example, my lust piece, which you will see, is representative of how women are highly shamed for their sexual lives by religious groups. The kiss marks all over my face are meant to mimic blemishes. Blah, yeah. We're gonna get into all that later. But basically, my pieces aim to give the viewer a whole new perspective on the 7 deadly sins. So that was my concentration. That was my whole shebang for my pieces. So the first step is to really, my recommendation, get a solid idea. Get your solid idea down first, because I struggled with that at the beginning. I knew I wanted to do the 7 deadly sins, but I didn't know what I really wanted to explore within that. And that caused me to take a lot of time figuring it out at the beginning, which was hard at the end when I had to make like 3 pieces in the span of like a week, which was fun. But we were already in quarantine by that point and I didn't really mind. But it's definitely, you gotta come out with pieces a lot. There's a lot of artwork you have to do in a short amount of time. You have to be on a certain schedule, up on a certain pace, and having your idea set in stone is definitely something I would recommend. I'm taking AP Art again this year. I'm doing 2D design and I already have my set idea. I love my idea. I'm not gonna say what it is yet because I don't want anyone to steal it. If that's a thing, I don't know if that's a thing, but I already have my idea set in stone this year. I already have like specific ideas for pieces I want to do, so I'm good on that, which means that once I actually have to start creating my pieces, I'll have plenty of time to do that. The second thing I would recommend is not picking a concentration that revolves around numbers, which is what I did. I really liked my theme, I was passionate about it, but one struggle that I had was after they changed the amount of pieces we needed from 15 to 10. It was great because I was not going to be able to create 15 pieces in that amount of time. But what was hard was that I knew I had my 7 pieces that represented each of the sins, but then it was like, okay, I have my 7, but now I need 3 more. Which was hard, but if you have specific ideas, go for it. Okay, so now that I've talked for a while, I'm going to now show you some of my pieces. I have them on my bed. Some of them I don't have in person, and some of them are not finished, which I will explain in a little bit. Okay, so this is my vanity piece. The other sin that's more commonly known as pride, but I did vanity. It's like the same thing. So this piece is a self-portrait. I look different in all of these, so it's fine. But this is supposed to be like the idea that women and men are often shamed for having plastic surgery, cosmetic surgery done. So this is to show the kind of like plastic layer and how plastic ruins everything, but it really doesn't, because like look at that natural beauty underneath. Look at her. Like, that's my idea behind that, is that oftentimes conservative people will shame people for doing what they want. Like, why? So this is my first piece. I liked it a lot. This is one of my favorite pieces. So yeah, on to the next one. This one is Greed. I love the way this came out. This I did in oil. This was one of my first oil paintings that I did. I think this was my first or second oil painting I ever did, which is great. But this is Greed. This is me choking on money, which was fun. It was fun to take this reference picture. I had the taste of dirty money in my mouth for a very long time. But I really loved the way that this one came out. Like I said, it was my first time using oil paint, and I think it came out pretty realistic. I like the shadowing around the eyes and all of that stuff. So the idea behind this one is when people say you're greedy, it's you're indulging yourself in wealth and materialistic items and all that stuff, and it's meant for you to be like, ew, that's freaky, right? Okay. Maybe it only makes sense in my head, but hey, I got a 5. Maybe it didn't. On to the next piece. This one is Wrath. This one's a lot different than my other ones. This I did in pen, ink, Sharpie, charcoal pencil, all that. This is on a cardboard piece of paper, and I painted it red, and then I scribbled all over it. And the idea behind this one is not that, obviously, this person who, I did this before I had the self-portrait idea, so this actually isn't a self-portrait, but we tricked the AP graders. Haha, College Boarding got you. But the idea behind this one wasn't just that, yes, you can visibly see that this drawing, this person is angry, is full of wrath, but the actual piece itself looks destroyed. Like, I invoked some sort of anger upon it. It's all ripped up, it's all stabbed. There's a lot of texture on it. I don't know if you can really see it, but I stabbed it a bunch. I wrote some curses on it, and then I scribbled over them, which was fun. But yeah, it's supposed to look like that. But I really love the way that this one came out. Yeah. On to the next one. This one is Lust. This was the first oil painting I ever did. I love the way this one came out. This is one of my favorites too. The idea behind this one was more set in stone. It was the idea that women often in religious groups are seen as beep, you know, all that bad stuff when they explore their sexual lives, and you know, idea that a woman has to wait for marriage, you know, all of that stuff, and how the kiss marks on her face are supposed to look almost like blemishes or bruises because people see them as wrong and gross, which in reality they aren't. See, the idea is you're not supposed to agree with my pieces. I don't agree with them. Fuck my pieces. That's the idea behind that one. That one is Lust. Okay, next one. Okay, this one is Gluttony. Oh, this piece, I hated doing this one, but then I loved it. It was one of my favorite ones. This one is, I took this reference photo one day on my couch, and I had a really bad headache, and I was like, how the HE double hockey sticks am I going to make this a good AP piece? But it ended up coming pretty cool. The skin tone's kind of purple because I want to play with fun colors. I have these like jelly bean candy things that I painted. This is done in oil. The face is done in oil, and the beans or candies are done in acrylic. And then I have food in my mouth. The eyes have like candies in them, and then I have some Skippy peanut butter. Jesus. Okay, anyways. And then I have a chip bag. It's not finished at the bottom, but that's okay because we can crop things in this AP world. And I had a Cheez-It thing. I don't know where it went, but this one is Gluttony. I love the way this one ended up coming out. I think we have one more sin to do, and that would be my least favorite piece when I show it on camera. But this one is Sloth. The idea behind this one is, oh god, it looks so bad. So the idea behind this piece is that people who are often lazy are seen as like druggies and low lives, and just kind of like worthless members of society. So I wanted this piece to feel like, oh, like dragged. Like, why is she got vomit in her mouth? Like, clean her up, clean up, girl. But you know, there's that. So now let's get into the pieces I have to do a lot more explaining for. My last 3 pieces. These are the pieces I had so much trouble coming up with. So that was fun. Oh my god, wait, I forgot about my other one. Envy. Okay, wait, I'll move to the side. I will figure out how to edit in my Envy piece because I don't have it with me because it was huge. My Envy piece, there it is, hopefully. My Envy piece was ginormous. It was like half of my size. I did it in acrylic paint, and I cut out the eyes, put my hands through them. Face was green. You're hopefully seeing that, but yeah, that was Envy. Okay, the last 3 pieces. These are the ones I had a lot of trouble coming up with. This is the first one. Now these last 3 pieces I wanted to kind of be like the explaining pieces of explaining the whole point of view of how my other pieces are supposed to be perceived. So this is a self-portrait of me, and it says the Holy Bible does not justify your hate, because that's something that happens a lot. And the words say like preach, hate, sinner, violence, all that stuff. So that's this one. Woohoo! I love the way this one came out. I really do. So the next one, I did not submit this piece like this. This one says my mistakes do not make me a sinner. And it doesn't look that good. And I agree. So we're going to put her down. And I'm going to put in the actual piece that I submitted, which looks a little bit different because there's a fun thing you could do in the AP world where you could edit your photos. So you needed process pictures in there too, which was fun because I found that out like the day before I had to submit my stuff. So I didn't have process pictures because the way my mind works, I don't really take process pictures or draw sketches. I just kind of go for it. So I had to create a bunch of different old sketches and process sketches and writing and ideas, and I put them on my painting and I edited them on there. So that was that one. And then my last one is this. However, you guessed it, didn't look like that. So here, I'm gonna put that up too. I created all of those sketches last minute, which was really fun because I didn't have them. They didn't exist to begin with, to show my process or my ideas. So I'm really exposing myself here. So if College Board sees this video, please keep my 5 because I'm really proud of it. There's something, I forget what they're called, but they're like your special pieces, which my teachers helped me pick those out, and they don't have to be from your concentration. They can be from any piece of artwork like you've ever done that show off your skill the best, and you submit those too. I think those are your special works or something like that. So you have that to submit too. You don't have to create new pieces for that. It's just pick your best piece of artwork and put that in there, and that's really it. I went over everything. So my advice for getting a high score: have a set idea. That's the best thing I can recommend. Have your set idea in place. Make sure you have room to explore it though. That's another hard thing. It's kind of iffy to explain. Make sure you have room to grow and room to explore your concentration, but also make sure you know what you're doing. Which sounds like mean, but like, make sure you know what you're doing. Like, you have your ideas set in stone, and you know that you can excel in those ideas and that you're passionate about them. That's something that is so important. Make sure you're passionate about your concentration, because you're going to be doing it the whole year. It's not like AP Biology or AP Lang or anything else where you're learning new things and the test is on, all of those things. You are picking one idea, you are picking that one idea, and you are sticking with it for months. So if you pick something that you're going to get bored with, it's not going to be fun. And you're not going to want to create pieces, you're not going to want to make more art, and it's just going to be a... So pick something that you're passionate about, pick an idea you really like, that you can do research on. Yeah, that's something I definitely recommend. Another thing I recommend is talk to your teachers. They're there to help you. I don't know what it's like at your school or what's happening with this pandemic. Nobody really knows. But talk to your teachers. Reach out to them, because they are there to help you. Specifically, my art teachers, they were super helpful throughout the whole process. The first 2 months of school, I was creating pieces that were not that good. And my teachers straight up told me that. They didn't say oh, your pieces are terrible, but they said you could do better than this. And I did do better than that. I was creating pieces that I wasn't really passionate about. I was trying something new, but it really wasn't my style. I was trying to push a style that I wasn't really comfortable with. And as much as the experimentation was nice, it didn't feel like me. And they told me that. And I'm so grateful they did, because I got a 5 and I stuck with what I'm good at, and I excelled in what I'm good at. So talk to your teachers. They are there to help you. They're there to help brainstorm ideas. Definitely reach out to them. They probably love teaching AP art, and they are there to help you. Shout out to Hurtin and Kabasa for helping me. Also, shout out to Daniela for our TikTok sessions every single morning during art. That was fun. The next word of advice I have is have fun. I think I already kind of said that, but just have fun with it. It's not like any other AP class you're going to take where you have to sit down and take notes every day and, you're bored. It's you are in control. You create what you want to create, and don't take it for granted, because it's so much fun. And I'm really glad I'm taking it again next year, and that my school offers art. Some schools don't even offer AP art, which is really sad, because it's probably my favorite AP class I've taken, because I get to control what I do, and I get to make what I want to make. So yeah, I'm gonna end this here because I don't really know what else to talk about. So if you are taking AP art, leave that in the comments below. Tell me what you're doing. Tell me about your concentration. Maybe sometime I will go over what my new concentration is going to be for this year, and show some of my pieces for this year, which I haven't started yet, but I should. So yeah, that's all I have today. If you have any other questions, write them down below, and I will be very happy to answer all of them. So yeah, AP art girl out.